Hi, my name is Kaylee, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install your TacoTunes Catalytic Converter Security Plate. First I'm going to show you how to install it with your stock skid plate, and then after that I'm going to show you how to install it with your TRD skid plate. I'm going to show you how to do your easy driveway install using these parts. You're going to need the bolts that the kit comes with. It's going to come with 2 short ones and 2 long ones, including washers. You're going to need a 13mm socket and a 13mm wrench. We're going to show you how to install it using a zip tie to hold the security plate up to the truck, or you can use simple household items. I'm going to use a stool and a box to just hold the plate level with the truck for installation. I'm going to take this stool and line it up with this door seam right here and just slide it under, and that should get me about in the middle of where my catalytic converter is. And I'm going to put it with this little notch going towards the front. Okay, so to start out with, I get my shorter bolt and my 13mm socket, and then you're gonna come under here, and I like to hold the plate up with my hand and line it up to that threaded hole right there in the middle. Here's a close-up of the bolt going into the hole that you need. It's gonna be that middle threaded hole underneath. Then I take my bolt and screw it in with my hand first. Alright, then I'm going to get my second tiny bolt, and I'm going to thread it in here. This one should be a lot easier into the little threaded hole, and you're going to do a good 5 to 7 turns. Okay, so next I'm going to push up my plate with my left hand, and just because I'm right-handed. I'm going to take my spacer. You can use 2x4s, whatever works for you. I'm going to slide it under there so I can make it level, just so it's easier to install my bolts. So now I'm going to show you how to install it using a zip tie if you don't have anything to prop up your plate underneath your truck. I like to hold it with my knee, just for stability. Then take a zip tie and thread it through. I like to do the left hole first because the right one's a little bit more simple to get done. Just thread it through. There we go. And then next, I'm going to take my longer bolts, and there's going to be 2 washers involved. There's going to be one on the bolt and one placed up here above the hole. I'm going to slide these in like so. Make sure you go through the other washer. You're going to kind of have to feel for it a little bit. Place the washer on top. Then you're going to have to get your bolts, and they're locking bolts, so they're going to lock. You're just going to screw it on just like that. Okay, so I'm going to take my second long screw. You're going to do the same thing you did on the other side. Stick it in with the washer on the bottom. Get your second washer, place it on top, and you're going to get your little bolt that locks, and you are going to screw it on directly. Okay, so next for the back longer screws, I'm going to take my 13mm wrench. I'm going to hold that lock nut in place while I take my 13mm socket and I tighten it on the bottom. Making sure not to strip them, you do want to make sure that these bolts are pretty tight. Then you're going to come over here and repeat the same steps as you did on the left side. And in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how to install it with your TRD skid plate. Okay, now that I have removed all the 4 rear screws on my skid plate and I loosened the front ones to let my skid plate hang down like this, I placed my stool underneath for stability, and I'm going to go grab my catalytic converter security plate. Okay, so I'm going to get my catalytic converter plate, and I'm going to slide it under, and then I'm going to lay down and start positioning it into place to balance it a little bit better on my legs. You're going to lift it up and you're going to put it on the little notch. It's slides into that notch just like that. It should line up pretty well. Next, using my knee, personally I like to do that to stabilize it. I'm going to line it up with the 2 threaded bolts right here in the back. I'm going to stick my zip tie up in here just to hold it up while I get my other bolts put in place. And make sure you do your zip tie pretty tight just so it's pretty stable for you. Okay, so for this part you're going to grab your longer bolts and you're going to put these in the back of your catalytic converter plate. You're going to stick them in. It's kind of a feeling game. Put them through the other end and you're going to take your washer, place that on top. Okay, so after my washer you're going to take your lock nut with the rubber part on top and you're going to screw that on to your bolt. Just like that. Next you're going to take your other bolt, but first you got to clip this zip tie. Pull that out right there. You're going to do the same thing. Bolt, washer, then the other washer. This one's going to be probably a little more difficult. You got a little more parts from the truck over here. Then you're going to take your lock nut with the rubber on top and you're going to screw that on. So next you're going to slide over here to the middle where your 2 plates are overlapped. You're going to take your shorter 13mm bolts that came with your catalytic converter kit. You're going to push up. Ha! I got it! Alrighty, and there's those. So next I'm going to take my 12mm bolts that came with my skid plate and I'm going to put those back. Nice and snug for right now, and then we're going to go around and tighten all of them all together. Okay, so next you're going to take your 13mm socket and these 4 bolts right here where the plates connect and the ones back here, you're going to go ahead and tighten those up. Tight. Making sure not to strip them, you do want to make sure that these bolts are pretty tight. Then you're going to come over here and repeat the same steps as you did on the left side. So next I'm going to start back with my 12mm and I'm going to go these 4 bolts right here, starting with the front ones. I'm going to go ahead and tighten those. And again, you want to make sure that these are on pretty tight, but you don't want to strip it. Just like that. Perfect. Hi, my name is Kayleen. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be showing you how to upgrade the audio system in your 2022 and up Tundra. As a fellow Tundra owner, I'm really excited to take you on this journey.